Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Bitter Rivals podcast, powered by 91N. I am host Avery Roush, along with co-host Gitano Gallo. We are now a couple weeks into the regular season, about a week and a half-ish. Is that
about that 10 days?
10 days? Okay. Yeah, it's been in Toronto anyway. It's been a really up and down first week and a half. 2 wins, 2 losses, and then a win last night in comeback fashion. There's been some things that need to be cleaned up. Shall I go there? Shall we just jump right into the Leafs and then we'll go Habs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go Leafs to start.
So even through the first 2 games, which were both wins, one against Montreal, and then it was Detroit that we played, I believe. Is that correct? I forget. I don't even remember.
I want to say it was Detroit.
Or no, it was Minnesota. See, I'm totally out of it. It was Montreal, Minnesota, then Chicago, then we lost to Florida, and then we beat Tampa last night. So yes, even through the first 2 wins though against Montreal and Minnesota, talked about it a little bit last week, how we kind of wanted to let them get a little bit more game time in before we started criticizing their defense, like their team defense, and we now have a few extra games, and the team defense still sucks. Like just all around, it's not great. Ilya Samsonov has not been good at all, unfortunately, and I don't think, not that we expected him to come out and be like Patrick Waugh, Carey Price levels of good, but we came out and expected him to be at least what he was last year, and he really hasn't been. The bright side, though, Joseph Woll has looked good in terms of goaltending. But yeah, they seem to be able to outscore their problems through the first 2 games against Montreal and Minnesota, and then for whatever reason they were stymied. The offense was stymied up against Chicago to start, and then same thing against Florida. They couldn't really get anything going, and they couldn't put 2 passes together. It didn't seem like there was much structure to their game, and even until halfway through the third period last night, same thing. They were better last night for sure, and that Tampa goalie played well. You got to give it to him, but they just weren't able to create too much offense, too many high power scoring opportunities like they normally can. After that Nylander goal in the first period last night, that's kind of just what happened to the rest of the team, is they couldn't really come up with that offense that they needed at that time.
Did Keith throw the lines in the blender yet, or what?
Oh yeah, he's thrown the lines all over the blender. Like, Nyes was up in the top 6 last night, but then he got taken out of the top 6 and scored 2 goals. Like, he was, you know what I mean? Like, he was playing with Nylander and Tavares to start the game. Yeah. He ended up playing on a line with Kampf and Domi and scored 2 goals, both assisted by Domi. And that guy needed a game because he has had a tough start as a member of the Toronto Maple Leaf, Max Domi. So for him to have a couple of assists last night on the 3-2 and game tying goal to make it 3-3 and send it to overtime, I think was huge for him and his confidence. And that was fantastic playing by Matthew Nyes, man. Both of them, actually. Domi had a couple of sick passes there that he made, a couple of great plays, and Nyes finished, and thank God, because it wasn't looking good last night. Like, Samsonov allowed 3 goals on 4 shots. Like, that just can't happen in the National Hockey League, man. You know what I mean? Like,
that's, yeah.
And they were good opportunities. Like, it's not like they were weak goals per se, but it's the National Hockey League. 3 goals on 4 shots is not going to cut it, no matter what kind of shots they are. You want a save on, like a big save, a good save, like a save that's, takes an above average goalie to make, but just it was not great. The comeback was nice though, and I didn't get confirmation, but I think Tavares ended up with that goal in overtime. It looked like Nylander at first. Like, it depends on how fast you watch the video, really, to see if Tavares tipped it. But I think if you slow it down, you can see that he makes contact with it with his stick. On the broadcast, they said that it was Nylander's goal. But anyway, it's not important. What's important?
Yeah, I'm looking. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, the Leafs account tweeted it's a Tavares goal, so we're gonna take it as a Tavares goal.
Tavares goal. So that's huge. John Tavares, the guy who people have been demoting to 3rd line left wing for the past 3 years, now has 9 points through 5 games, 2 goals, 7 assists. He's been fantastic And I'm not
It's
sure.
almost like he's good.
It's almost like he's good. And it's, a lot of people, let's be honest, the narrative around him is he's been declining, right? And the narrative since he signed that contract is the back half of the contract isn't going to look too great. And we're at the back half of the contract. There's 2 years left on it, including this one, and he's got 9 points through 5 games. I think that's living up to that kind of deal, is it not?
I would think so. And like the thing is, like declining is like it's like maybe still accurate. He was like 100-point guy. He's probably not that guy anymore. So like he technically is declining, but like he's still probably a point a game player.
He's a point a game player, and he's getting second line center minutes. Like, yes, he's on the first power play, but he's not the number one guy on this team either. That's something that has to be taken into an account when you look at his decline. And the first game against Montreal, I will admit, we watched it together. He looked slow as hell. Since then, you can tell that what he said is true in the offseason, and that's that he has a new skating coach, and he's completely reinvented the way he skates, and he looks great. Like, he's a.
But I also think like a lot of guys just look shit in the first game of the season because it's the first game of the season. Like.
Exactly. I think he's looked great. Even if you put the points aside, just what he looks better out there. He looks more noticeable than he's been in at least a year. Like last year, I'm not saying he wasn't noticeable out there, but he definitely is a lot more involved, it seems, in the play this year. And that's fantastic to see for a guy who's in the second last year of a long contract that we signed him to. So, yeah, it's Matthews didn't score last night, but he's still got 6 goals through 5 games, on pace for just over a goal a game, if you do the quick maths. And yeah, it's winning last night was important for the psyche of Leaf fans, because if we lost last night, which it really did look like we were going to, I think we would all be hitting the panic button, similar to the way they're hitting the panic button in Edmonton right now.
Like they are like they broke the panic button. Like they've been hammering on it.
Yeah,
and like
that's
rightfully so.
Yeah, so let's go over kind of their start here. McDavid hasn't really put up the points that you would expect him to through their first, 5 games of the season now, or have they only played 4?
I'm pulling them up right now. But yeah, and he's also now hurt, right? I don't know. I don't think we have confirmation on like a timeline or anything, but he's definitely
he's
not at 100%. Yeah.
Yes, 100. That's what we can confirm, is that he is not at 100%. That's about all we can confirm.
So they are 1-3-1 through 5 games.
Okay, so not good, not great. 3 points. They're last in their division.
They're not even last in their division. They're 5th. They're literally sitting 5th right now. We also have to remember that the Ducks and Sharks are also in this division. And the Kraken are 1-4-1.
Want to know what I'm kind of realizing right now?
Is that division's terrible, and even if Edmonton sucks, they'll probably still make the playoffs.
I saw a screenshot of the bottom of the league this morning, and I thought it was that division, but it's the bottom of the league. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I saw a screenshot, and I thought it was the Pacific Division, but I think it's just the bottom of the league.
Yes, no, 100%. That is, yes, because the Capitals are 28th, yes. So yes, the bottom 4 teams in the league are all from that division.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Wow, I got duped.
Well, I mean, like, you got duped, but also right. Like,
that's hilarious. They're terrible. Oh my god. But anyway,
they are really bad.
Anyway, yeah, the panic button. We don't know what's going on with McDavid. You'd hope that it's not long term, like just the sheer fact that he's fun to watch play hockey. But man, it's ugly over there. You want to talk about team defense and goaltending, like I was complaining about. Wow, do they lack it? It's unreal. And Sue Greyhound, Darnell Nurse, like his contract looks awful right now because he straight up is getting burned by everybody.
I mean, let's be real, that contract hasn't looked good, like for the most part. Like there's been very few points in that contract that it's looked good.
Yeah, he's at 9.5. So
yeah,
he's he doesn't look like a $9.5 million player right now. I think we can agree on that.
Yeah, he just hasn't at all.
Ekholm was a big part of that defense. In the first 2 games, they didn't have him, and they've had him since. And when he's on the ice, he does his job. But man, the rest of that decor is not very good defensively, like at all.
Matthias Ekholm cannot play 60 minutes for them.
No, like holy lightning, they're bad. Like they're really, really not good. And now with a guy like McDavid out, it's going to be a lot more difficult to outscore those types of issues.
Oh yeah, and, I was thinking like after last week we were talking about the Hellebuck extension. Like, I'm surprised the Oilers didn't push hard for him over the summer when there was those rumors of him wanting out. There wasn't going to sign an extension. Potentially walking next summer as a free agent. Like, I'm surprised the Oilers didn't get involved there and try and acquire him, because that would have been game changing for them. A legitimate 1A. Like that would have been huge.
How are they going to pay a guy like him when they have Darnell Nurse on the books for 9.5? McDavid's the second highest paid player in the league. They have to sign Draisaitl to an extension at some point soon here. Who's that other defenseman? Bouchard. He's going to want a contract soon. Like, they got Ekholm on the books. They have Jack Campbell on the books already, just as goaltenders. How would they afford to have a guy like Connor Hellebuck fit?
I'm not. I didn't analyze the specifics how to make it happen, but like, you'd think though, if a 1A like that was kind of not on the market, but like on the verge of being on the market, like you'd think you would like do some due diligence and like try and get something involved there.
Yeah, it's just tough. The hard salary cap makes everything tough. It's no trade is easy, unfortunately. So, yeah. Anyway, would you like to get into some Montreal? Because we kind of drifted off into Edmonton slander there, which is well deserved. The Edmonton slander,
but absolutely well deserved.
This is the Leafs and Habs podcast, so let's get into some Montreal talk.
Yeah, and like, I'm gonna sound like a broken fucking record, Dave, and it's more annoying for me than it is for you and our listeners. I guarantee that. But the Habs having their issues again. Kirby Dach is done for the year. Blew out his ACL or MCL. They haven't confirmed yet. But yeah, he is done for the season, which is a huge blow. Like, just
he was flying around that first game against the Leafs, man. He was great.
He was so good, and like all I've wanted is just for them to stay healthy. I knew they weren't going to be good this year. I was fine with that. That was totally okay. But like, this was a year of like, hey, let's grow. Let's all like take these steps up. And he can't take these steps if he's on fucking one leg. And I'm pissed. The other thing is it kind of ruins our top six, because so Marty talked about it in preseason. That last season we saw Kirby Dach playing on the right-hand side with Caulfield and Suzuki. And he was like, we know that works. He's like, I know in a pinch, I can put Kirby Dach there and he's fine. He's going to work great. But they were trying him out at 2C to see if he was maybe that guy. And through a game and a half, he kind of looked like he might have been that guy. He was phenomenal against Toronto and had a really good start in the second game against the Blackhawks. And you're like, oh, if Kirby Dach's your 2C, then like, okay, now we just need to get wingers, which is way easier to acquire in the league. Just always has been, always will be. But now we don't get to see that trial year. We got fucking 4 periods of it. So that's a huge blow for the Habs. And then Kaden Gooley's out. They haven't confirmed this one either, but some people have been saying day to day, some people saying week to week for an upper body injury. Again, it's just like, we just can't catch fucking breaks. Like, it's not great. But in terms of games, the Habs got absolutely slapped by Minnesota. Their special teams just fucking destroyed us. They had the 2 power play goals and 2 shorthanded goals that game. It was just never. And it was also like, every time Marc-Andre Fleury plays in Montreal, he just turns into like the greatest goalie of all time. And he was just phenomenal that game. They fucking beat us badly. The power play looked like shit. Their 2 shorthanded goals came within 25 seconds of each other, which was just like, just not great. But we did beat the Capitals last night. Cole Caulfield scored an OT winner. And like, so you might get a little angry when I say this, but Cole Caulfield has that thing where when he picks up the puck all the time, you're like, oh, like he might do something here. But sometimes when he like the puck hits his stick, you're just like, oh, he's about to score. Doesn't matter where he is on the ice. You're like, oh, like I can feel it. Like, I know like Matthews has that same thing. You know what I mean? Where sometimes he picks up the puck and you're just like, oh, like he's like this isn't like a chance here. This is like he's putting it in the net. Like Cole Caulfield's got that thing, and it's fucking incredible. So as soon as he picked up that puck in overtime, I'm like, oh, it's over. He's walking, he's ripping this top cheddar, and he did, and it was fantastic. And I'm not saying he's going to be, you know what I mean when I say it like that, right? Like I'm not comparing them, but they both have that factor to them. Where sometimes it's they pick up the puck and you're like, oh, like this is in the net. Doesn't matter. It's
Yeah,
in the net.
I do know what you're saying. Actually, I understand. And there's also a lot of that in a guy like William Nylander, where sometimes he can kind of bring that same energy where when he picks up the puck, especially if it's like after he misses a glorious opportunity, like chips it wide or tips one wide that he feels like he should have scored on. He gets this head of steam and he kind of turns into just this monster that's not going to stop until he does score. And I think that's kind of what we're talking about right now.
Yeah, exactly that. Where it's he gets the puck and it's like there's no other outcome here than a goal. Like it just you could put the best players, fucking put like 6 or 7 more guys in there. It's like it doesn't matter. Like he's putting the puck in the fucking net.
Yeah, it's that determination after, and it comes a lot of the time, like I said, after something like a missed opportunity.
Yeah, and even the Caulfield goal, I don't know if you've seen the full clip, but he was literally like skating to the bench for a line change in overtime. And as soon as like Suzuki picked up the puck, he fucking turned, puts his stick down, picks up the pass, and then he rips it top cheddar. It was fucking, yeah. Like, see, it had not a great shift that overtime. Had a couple chances, missed wide, and then, you know, gets that one last chance and he just fucking buries it. It was great.
Yeah. Yeah, anyway, if you want to talk about overtime too, like the Leafs overtime strategy this year has been a lot of just prey, like just offensive prey. But last night, I'm not kidding, I think it was roughly a 2, maybe 2.5 minute overtime. I don't remember Tampa touching the puck. Like I actually don't remember, and for whatever reason, like it takes a lot of things, including like bounces going your way. But even when they take a shot on net, every time it ended back on a Leaf stick. Like I don't know how that can happen repeatedly. Like it's not like basketball where you just have to be taller than the other guy and you get the rebound, right? Like that takes a lot of luck. Like where does the puck deflect to? Where are you at the time of the deflection? Like you know what I mean?
And it also takes like good team defense, which we've established the Leafs haven't really had this year either. So like
yeah, but in Tampa, if anybody you would think would be able to kind of take advantage of that, like guys like Kucherov, which they did in the first period last night. Kucherov was unbelievable. Like he looked like the best player in the world at that point in time, and you can see why he had that MVP season. Like he is really truly one of the best players in the world. That guy, and he's not under
that apple was disgusting in the first. The slap pass apple. Oh,
he had 3 points on their first 3 on 3 goals on 4 shots, and they were all created by him. They were all opportunities that he created, whether they were for himself or for other guys, right? Like are you talking about the apple where he like kind of the puck was like kind of came in a little behind him? And he like faked the stop, and then he like just passed to the guy going to the net.
Yeah, and Buddy poked at 5-hole as Samsonov was sliding. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
And that's it. He had me feeling like we were about to lose a 3rd game in a row, and it was not a good feeling. Like it was not a good feeling. Thank God for Matthew Knies and Max Domi. Never thought I'd say that. Because
Matthew Knies maybe.
Knies maybe, but Max Domi, man, he struggled through the first 4 games of the season. He needed that last night more than anybody on that team could have used, having a couple of points there in the 3rd period. He needed that more than anybody. And Keefe after the game was so critical of Wool, not Wool, Samsonov, and complimentary of Wool. Like that's crazy. Like he just straight up said you can't allow 3 goals on 4 shots.
No, but here there's nothing crazy about saying that though. Like
that's
but reality.
How matter of fact he said to like, is Wool starting the next game? Yes, Wool was starting the next game. Is he going to have a chance at the starter's opportunity? And like kind of like smirky laughs and says, yes, he is going to have a chance at the starter's net. Like,
well, I mean, like, look, if Samson's playing that poorly, Wool
And he
comes
has
in and
terrible.
plays well, then like there's gonna be a shot there. Like, you know, that doesn't mean Samsonov's fucking like in the doghouse forever now either. It's like, give Wool a
Yeah.
chance, and if maybe what do the Leafs have like coming up? They have like an easy game. Give it to Samsonov and see if he can fucking turn it around.
Here, let me check. Yeah, no, I don't know. I'm beginning to think that Martin Jones signing was a good one, and the fact that he cleared waivers is going to become more important than anybody originally thought it was. Oh yeah, that's what we play 6:00 on Tuesday. And have you looked into what's happening on Tuesday?
No.
All of the games are starting 15 minutes apart, and
Okay.
ESPN is doing like a red zone style like hockey broadcast with all of them.
Interesting. I like that.
I don't know if we're going to be able to view it in Canada. I have TSN Plus, so I'm hoping it might be somewhere on there because a lot of things that are on ESPN Plus end up on TSN Plus. So I'm hoping that I can view them there. But I'm looking forward to that. It starts with the Leafs and Capitals at 6 p.m. though.
Yeah, because the Habs play 7:15.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like they're all look at the. So I'll go NHL. It's on Tuesday.
Okay, let me pull this up here.
So the NHL schedule, there are a couple of games today, Flames, Red Wings, Bruins, Docs. Tomorrow the Canadiens and Sabres play, and then every team plays on Tuesday. There's 16.
Holy fucking shit.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess I know what I'm doing with my Tuesday.
Yeah. 6, 6:30, 6:45, 7, 7:15, 7:30, 7:45. And there's going to be like a simulcast, like red zone style simulcast that ESPN Plus is doing. I saw John Buccigross tweeting about it this morning.
That's not. I also love looking at like the top of the schedule. It's like Sunday 2 games, Monday 1 game, Tuesday 16 games, Wednesday 1 game.
Yeah, like 16 games on a Tuesday, and yeah, it kicks off with the Leafs, and it ends. The final game starts at 11 p.m. It is Flyers and Vegas. Of course, it's in Vegas. The last game of the night, yeah, is in Vegas.
Can we talk about the fucking Vegas Golden Knights right now?
They're 5-0.
6-0. They won last night.
Oh my god,
6-0. The first defending champions to go 6-0 the following season.
Yeah, that's scary. They're scary.
Yeah.
Jack Eichel looks great. Jack Eichel looks very much at home.
Like, I'm so glad he's in Vegas. I'm so glad. And look, like, Buffalo's doing great without him. They've got their own thing going. Like, I'm not shitting on them for that, but like, the Eichel in Buffalo was just not working out. I'm so glad he's out of there and it's working out in Vegas. He's fucking electric.
Yeah. Another thing that I would like to talk about before we go off air here is I just want to shout out myself for buying into Jack Hughes, because this kid is going to push for an MVP this year.
Yeah, like as the weeks go on, my hot take is getting significantly less spicy. Like it's a pretty mild take at this point. Like,
these guys are for real, and this kid Jack Hughes he might be him. Like, he might be him.
I'm pretty confident that he is him.
He is so good, and he knows that he is so good. His confidence level is just on a completely different stratosphere, man. He sees the ice right now like Wayne Gretzky.
So Gretzky was literally saying that he sees himself in Jack Hughes, which is nuts.
That's insane.
I don't remember Gretzky ever saying that about anyone.
No, because nobody's ever. One of my favorite quotes about Gretzky and what everybody always says is the fact that he wasn't the best in the world at everything. He didn't have, or at anything. He didn't have the hardest shot. He didn't skate the fastest. He didn't have the best hands, but he was the best at everything, meaning in everything combined. And his greatest asset was the ability to just see the ice differently than everybody else. He knew where to be 20 steps before anybody else did, was kind of what made him great.
Yeah, and he'd set up in his office behind the net and just fucking see what was happening and then just fucking feed Curry or Messi or whoever the
it's like you saw it from a bird's eye view kind of situation. Yeah.
Yeah, and you see that in Hughes, and like I said, my hot take for preseason is a very mild take right now, and it's going to be an ice cold take by game 82. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah, definitely. They are a wagon. The New Jersey Devils are a wagon. They just got to figure out their whole goaltending situation. Once they do that, they'll be unstoppable. Luke Hughes looks great too. The other Hughes brother.
Yeah.
His first two.
Also, like Quinn's looking good out in Vancouver, but let's keep it in New Jersey.
Yeah, no, I'm just Luke Hughes' first two NHL goals are assisted by his brother. I think that's hilarious.
Yeah.
And yeah, that the Hughes wagon in New Jersey just keeps on chugging, man.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they're just rolling. Like it's incredible to watch.
Yeah. Anyway, what we got? Anything you want to get to before we talk about former Leaf Travis Dermott here?
No, I think that's just about everything. The Habs actually play tomorrow in Buffalo, 7 p.m. We have the Tuesday game against. It's against the Devils. We're gonna get absolutely fucking thumped.
Yeah.
That's not going to be fun. But then the Jackets are in town on Thursday, and the Jets are in town on Saturday for 4 games this week, which is a nice change up from the last 2.
Yeah, for sure. This is another 3-game week for the Leafs. This is starting to get annoying. I want to see these Leafs every second night, man. This is too much. Leafs Capitals on Tuesday, as I mentioned, 6 p.m. Then we are in Dallas. We're going on a central United States road trip here. In Dallas, 8 p.m. Then in Nashville, Saturday night, 7 p.m. Another thing that I learned that I'm very much looking forward to, and I'm hoping I have that Friday off, is the Leafs will be going on a trip to Sweden in November. I don't have the exact dates in front of me, but they will be playing a 2 p.m. Friday game. This information comes from the Steve Dangle Twitter page. They will be playing a 2 p.m. Friday game and an 8 a.m. Sunday morning game while they are in Sweden. So that's going to be interesting. I'm going to be up obviously for that Sunday.
Yeah, I was going to say that might be we'll maybe record like directly post game for that one.
Might be what's happening. Yeah, that's probably is going to be what happens there. But
do we know who they play?
No, I don't. I just know the times and the dates.
Interesting.
Or not the dates, not the date. I just said I don't know the dates. I just know the times and the days.
You just know that they will be in Sweden at some point next month, playing on a Friday and a Sunday.
Yes, that is exactly what I have the knowledge of. Yes.
All right. So I try give a shout out to Travis Dermott here.
Yeah. So Travis Dermott, shout out for defying a stupid rule. I think we can agree. I don't know if have we talked about this yet on the podcast?
We haven't. No. I think the last thing that we talked about was, I think maybe near the end of the year, we talked about how they were doing no more special jersey nights, and how stupid that was for all those great causes. But we haven't gotten into it this year, no.
So the NHL banned Pride Tape, which was something players used to show solidarity with the Pride community, and I don't think anybody really had an issue with that, like the whole tape thing. Maybe there were certain players. The biggest issue last year was there were players that had issues wearing the jerseys because of religious purposes, which we don't need to get into why that's a load of bullshit, but it is. But whatever, sure. So they ban. That's what we've talked about last was the banning of all pre-game jerseys for causes, which is ridiculous because there's more than just Pride jerseys. We had military
Hockey Fights Cancer.
Hockey Fights Cancer. You own a Hockey Fights Cancer. It's right there. I can see it. Right.
Yep.
So
baby.
It's just ridiculous that's the direction that they went with that, and then they took it another step, which nobody was asking for, and now they've banned Pride Tape, which is something players could choose. It's not something that was mandated. It's something that players chose to wear on their to tape their sticks with, or whatever. They could tape their shin pads with it. Like I know I've used stick tape to tape my shin pads in the past sometimes. Oh, yeah. They can do whatever they want, but no, now that's banned as well. And Travis Dermott, former Leaf and now playing for the Arizona Coyotes, yesterday in an afternoon game against the Anaheim Ducks, wore Pride Tape on his stick right under where his top hand is, right under the handle of the stick, if you will. And yeah, good for him. And now the NHL is looking into punishing him for it, and I dare them to try. Honestly.
Well, I mean, technically, it's not against the rules. The rules say that they can use whatever color tape they like, but the NHL is trying to distance itself from taking sides in, you know, I would say maybe like political and public discourse, which is stupid because like this is a public game, and if a guy wants to wear pride tape to show that support, then like why the fuck not?
If he's making the decision, like it's his decision. Like you're not. That's
Yeah.
the thing. It's not a mandated thing. Anyway, sorry for interrupting you.
No. I was saying, and like, what there would be no difference if he decided to tape, like, use fucking like lime green tape on his sticks. Like, what's the fucking difference? Like, it's what he wants to do. Like, but yeah. So the league has as of recording hasn't put out anything potentially like not punishing him or even like
fines or whatever.
Yeah, like there's been no discussion of it yet, but I would assume the league is going to do something because they're awful people. I think you said it. I think you said it best last season. Hockey's for everyone. The NHL isn't.
Yeah, they've shown that more than once. And this, like, that's the thing about this one for me is like nobody asked for this. Like nobody, you know what I mean? Like nobody asked for you to ban pride tape, and players are upset because you're basically telling them that their ability to support causes, given their platform that they've built for themselves by becoming National Hockey League players and becoming famous athletes, they don't get to use that to support the causes that they want to use that to support. And that's absurd to me. That's absurd, right? Like, I don't know. The jersey thing was one thing because there were a select few idiots in the league that didn't want to support the cause and made a big stink out of it for everybody. And I could get it, like, saying, okay, then we're just not going to do anything then. But this one makes zero sense to me, just solely due to the fact that it's a player-driven initiative. It's not a league-wide thing. It's not a team-wide thing. It's just players choosing to support a cause on the platform that they've built for themselves. I don't know. It's ridiculous. But
it is really stupid. No. And again, shout out Travis Dermott for having the balls to do that.
Absolutely.
Hopefully he's not the last player we see do that. I really hope not.
The company that makes Pride Tape has already said they've gotten numerous orders from National Hockey League players. So hopefully we see a ton of that this year. Okay. So yeah, that's that. I don't think we need to say why that's ridiculous, even though we just kind of did. Like,
yeah. I mean, I think we've said it a million times on this show. Like, just. It's just like a thing of basic human decency. Like that's basically what it comes down to.
Yeah, it's like not. Yeah.
I don't want to fucking do the whole fucking spiel again because it just gets me pissed off because it's so stupid that the NHL is like this.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's all we have this week, I believe, unless there's anything else that you need to get off of your chest, Gitano.
No, I think that is everything.
Okay, well, we would like to thank you for listening to episode 106 of the Bitter Rivals podcast, powered by 91N. We are off until next Sunday, so we are looking forward to the games this week. We're looking forward to this major hockey event that is taking place on Tuesday night, and it might be a lot of fun. I hope that I am able to find somewhere to watch this multi-feed, because I know I enjoy Red Zone. I'm actually currently enjoying Red Zone right now. Yeah, let's hope that that's a success, because I know sometimes new things aren't in the National Hockey League, and that's putting it lightly. Board ads, but anyway, thank you again for listening to episode 106. We will talk to you next Sunday. Until then, have a great week, and go Leafs go.
Go Habs go.